Good morning and welcome to another episode of College Baseball Saturday here on this fine Saturday morning. I am JP Sponseller, joined as always by Corey Klingenbeck. No Cole Harding today. I believe, where was he? He was on a bourbon tour with the potential in-laws. So big day for him. I feel like he's going to have a pretty good Saturday down there.
Yeah, he'll enjoy his time in Lexington. He's got a concert lined up tonight, so all props to him. Yeah, I mean,
is he going to Treaty Oak?
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Treaty Oak Revival.
Jeez, he's gonna have a hell of a Saturday,
dude. Come on.
But so are we, man. I'm hoping to have a little better slate of games, I guess, for some of these. I guess that we are focused on not the best Friday night matchups that we were maybe hoping for, but let's get right into this. We got a very exciting guest that will be joining us to break down these picks here in 10 to 15 minutes. But first, let's start out with some of our new segments that we've added to this week 2. First being the Lounge Dog lineup. Now, this guy keeping his name classified, but Lounge Dog, you can find him on Twitter at @lounge_DAWG. Awesome dude. He runs one of the left field lounges at Duty Noble Field down in Starkville, Mississippi for the Dogs. And this guy cooked me some of the best barbecue pregame food that I've probably ever had last year. So I decided that, I don't know, I would have loved to show the fans kind of what he's got cooking on his Friday night lineup every week. So we're going to check in with him. We got a short clip sent over that we will show you guys real quick.
On today's menu lounge, we got boudin, sausage, chicken wings.
Hell of a vibe out there. Yeah, hell of a vibe out there in left field. It's got some sausage and some wings going. I'll tell you what, it seems like he's just kind of starting to get in midseason form. You might see, like, I'll tell you what, when LSU goes down there, once you get into SEC play, you'll see him really start to get into his bag a little bit, start throwing some ribs and all kinds of stuff on there. So more to come there. There's definitely some big things coming from Lounge Dog from the rest of the season. And our next segment that we will talk about is who's hot and who's not. Corey, I don't know if you got anyone. I got one to talk about who's hot. Obviously, we got a couple of these top 25 teams that still remain undefeated, but the one that is stuck out to me from week 1 has to be the Oklahoma Sooners. They go and get a sweep in Globe Life last week with wins over Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, and TCU on Sunday. I think it's also just because, like, in these preseason projections, a lot of people had Oklahoma around like the 13 or 14 spot in the SEC. So I think to come in and also run differential, I think they averaged winning those games by like 8 or 9 runs each. So absolutely dominated last weekend. And the Sooners look really, really good out of the gate. What did you think about watching them last week?
The Sooners look quite dangerous. I mean, they got sneaky bats. I mean, granted, it's SEC. No one's going to be bad. No one's going to be awful. Everybody's going to have bats. Everybody's going to have arms. But they did it in a little different form than everybody expected. I don't know what those standings or what those preseason projections were, but I don't know. I didn't like them deep in the SEC. I didn't like them that low.
Yeah, well, they really reloaded with like some JUCO bats, some smaller just not super high profile guys where I feel like they all kind of flew under the radar. But I don't know. I thought their at bats, like the way they were able to put those together was scary. Yeah. And then you throw that in with the way they were able to reload. I mean, last year they had Witherspoon, and then this year, I mean, Cam Johnson looked damn good on Friday there. So big things on the mound and at the plate. Let's talk about who is not. We got to kind of be negative
top
on
dogs in the Big 12.
Our Big 12 guys here. The Arizona Wildcats are out to an 0-6 start. And definitely playing like some decent competition. You got UConn, Northeastern, Stanford, but if you would have told me that the Wildcats were 0-6 out of the gate with this schedule, I would be a little bit alarmed and shocked. What do you think?
I don't really know what kind of operation's going on over there right now. I don't really see where the pieces are missing, but you watch. I conveniently tuned into a game last night for about an hour and a half, and like I watched the last 6 innings or so against UConn, and it was like, I don't know, it wasn't them. It wasn't, they have a whole different lineup, granted, like a lot of people do, but I don't know. It didn't sound like, it didn't look and sound like them at all. There was no pop behind the barrel. There was no gas behind the arm, but it was all like, I don't know. It was a strikeout inning for them. And then they go on the field and they go strikeout, pass ball, strikeout, pass ball. So they're giving them 5 outs, and that's just not Wildcats baseball.
It seems like the pressure's starting to like build on them a little bit, right? Like they got to see one go through, they got to scratch a win, and then I'm not totally out on the team, but definitely not looking good through the first.
I could be wrong, and my brother was sitting next to me. He mentioned it too, but I could be wrong. I might be, but they mentioned something about their pitching coach. He was there all fall, and then he went to San Diego after the fall, after the fall semester in December, January, and then he left, and now he's not there. So now they had to roll in a whole new pitching coach this spring, get adjusted in a month, and now try to see what he can do with that pitching staff. But I mean, that's hard on your staff. But I mean, I don't know. The bats don't look the same at all.
No,
the bats don't have any juice behind them.
No, they have not. I guess put the pieces together in that newer Wildcat lineup yet. Let's see here. We got a comment from Sean Springer here. I'm rocking with a rainbow sherbet rain this morning to fire me up. So
hey, don't get us wrong over here. We're going with the bucked up.
Okay.
The bucked up protein energy. You never get wrong with those.
All right, our next team that I wanted to shout out about who is not is the ECU Pirates. Huge expectations out of the gate. Dropped the series last week at home to Xavier, and then what felt like a bounce back spot for them last night, being an underdog at home with Ethan Norby on the mound. They get run ruled in 8 innings. So Jason DeCaro goes complete game shutout. It just feels like last night's game was a big chance to bounce back, and they just totally sucked the life out of them.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened to the wheels on that bus, but they fell off quite quick, and I don't know. It wasn't all there. And like you said, they had high expectations in the American, especially. But there's preseason schedule is none easier than the last. I mean, shit, you got Xavier, who plays about every competition in the country, East Coast to West Coast. You got UNC that potentially goes to Omaha every year, has some of the best arms in the country. I don't know. I just ECU. I think the wheels started to fall off last year, 2 years ago, when Cliff Godwin was kind of getting on air, kind of going out and about the NIL, about the transfer portal. I mean, it's going to happen, but I don't think you can complain about that much on social media and in the real world. I mean, it is what it is. Like, you're going to have guys leave, you're going to have coaches steal your players, but you gotta play with the cards you were dealt at some point.
Yeah, I totally agree. And this ECU team always, like, even in their really good years, seems to start really slow. So I'm not out on the Pirates yet. I haven't seen a lot out of the offense that is promising, at least as far as just those ECU offenses that I was used to playing to and stringing at bats together.
Oh, God.
It
seemed like nobody could get out, and everybody was touching first, second, third, and home.
Yeah, it was like a Mission Impossible mission to get like a 1-2-3 inning. Like it was never over until you got that third out. So haven't quite seen that out of the Pirate offense yet this season. Let's move into our final segment before we get into these matchup breakdowns. Midweek Madness.
Midweek Madness. Fire me
We
up.
saw it in full force on Tuesday. No upsets on Wednesday, but and just to clarify, we know that these midweek upsets do not make or break anyone's season. We're simply just calling out our ranked teams that happen to fall during the midweek to maybe a lesser opponent or a team that's not ranked. So to hit on that, Morehead State went into Lexington and took down the number 18 ranked Wildcats 8-6. Huge win for the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky has looked pretty solid. Obviously, I know they've dropped this Morehead game or these in-state midweeks a couple times before. Always fun to see Morehead go in there and get a hungry win over the Wildcats.
Yeah, they're kind of. I mean, they're not known for it, but I've definitely seen it more often than not that Kentucky drops a midweek against an in-state rival.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, besides that Louisville rivalry, there's not much. I mean, I don't know. Kentucky, they're out with their shortstop Tyler Bell, who hasn't been in the lineup the past couple games. But I mean, you got to adapt. You got to overcome. You got to be better. You got to be better.
And they've been solid. I mean, hey, as you like to say, shit happens, right? Maybe we're thinking about that Tyler Bell injury a little bit, and then the Morehead State came in and snuck up on them.
Uh-huh.
Our next upset, we had College of Charleston go in and take down the number 6 Coastal Carolina Chanticleers at home. I got a fun fact for you, Corey. This Coastal team never got swept last year. So there were 3 teams last year that beat them 2 times throughout the year. It was LSU, College of Charleston, and Troy in a series. So with that being said, I put out a tweet about it. I know it didn't make like a ton of sense, but there's one team that has beat the Chants 3 times in the past like 380 days, give or take. And it's the Charleston Cougars. So they just seem to
they got their
number a little bit.
They got it.
They came in and pitched it. I believe it was a very low scoring game. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was like 2-1 or 3-2 or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, College of Charleston had a really young dude come in and pitch it really well. Shant's offense has struggled to get going early there, and the Cougars were able to close this thing out and get a big win.
Yeah, I saw there was a stat that popped up on the TV or Twitter. It was like the first home loss in the Chanticleers in like a year and a half or something like that.
I think it was like they had like a 16-game home streak going.
Yeah, they didn't lose until like the prior like April or March. I was like, damn, I mean, they'll win a lot of home games. People get scared walking in the Chanticleers doghouse a little bit.
Yeah, hell yeah. And our next one, UT Arlington takes down number 7 TCU. They put up like 11 or so runs, really swung the bats well. TCU looked like one of the best teams in the country after Friday and Saturday, and then they lay an egg Sunday and in that midweek. So, and then obviously last night, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but definitely a tough midweek loss for them. Obviously hear that bad news of Tommy Lepore down with some arm soreness. So tough game for them. We have our guest on from TCU, so we're not going to be too negative on those guys. We're hoping to have some Frog fans in here.
Yeah, you're hoping a game like that doesn't snowball, but you got a Sunday loss, you walk in with a Tuesday loss, and then you come on Friday, you got to go out to UCLA, the East Coast, and
take on the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah, you get another loss. So, I mean, you can look at it 2 ways or another. You can, build off of those losses. You can get better. You can see what you need to work on, the little things, or you can, let it snowball into a big effect and keep dropping.
Yeah, need a big bounce back from the Frogs today. And our last midweek upset, we had our very own Cincinnati Bearcats walk into Auburn, Alabama, and take down the number 9 Auburn Tigers. Really close game up until about the 8th or 9th, until the Bearcats were about to bust it open.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about this game a lot, so I don't want to talk about it a ton. Also, Bearcats maybe having a hangover after that win, dropped first 2 to UAB. So I don't want to pump those guys' tires too much. We need them to kind of kick it back in gear and get some life back into them today.
Absolutely. I mean, come off a midweek upset, you can't think your shit doesn't stink, but you definitely got to go in and take business at a different opponent down in Alabama. They're at UAB right now, so
yeah,
definitely got to come off that win and a little high on the high road and keep that tailing. And
you got to finish out this road trip. Yeah,
you got to finish strong. Don't want to finish like we did last year.
Yeah. All right, and that wraps up our midweek madness segment. And now it is time to introduce our special guest picker today. We are bringing on Trey Richardson. He played at Baylor and TCU. He was a member of the TCU team in their Omaha run back in 2023. A lot of you guys know him for the silly things he did to Arkansas back in that regional in 23. So Trey Richardson, welcome to the show. Trey, how's
Yes,
it going,
sir,
man?
Trey.
How are you doing?
Doing good, man. I'm glad to be on here and talk some ball.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. So for any Frog fans that may be listening, obviously you get drafted out of TCU in 23 after that season. Give them a little update on just obviously you're with the Cardinals organization still. Give us a little update on kind of who you've been playing with, where you've been bouncing around, and what you've been up to for the past few years.
Dude, man, I've been playing with a bunch of people from all over. Some all over the country, some all over the world. Play with your buddy,
Josh Cross.
Concern, yeah. Play with Josh Cross too. Met him this past season. Great dudes. Just really blessed, honestly, to be able to still be, playing the game. Not a lot of people get the opportunity to say they were drafted, and way less people get the opportunity to say that they made it to the big leagues. So just getting the opportunity to, be able to navigate my way through that and meet a bunch of, great people. Baseball. I mean, we all know baseball is such a small world, and so the fact that I've never met either of y'all, and I know two people who know y'all pretty well, is saying something. So yeah, man, just kind of enjoying the road. Like I said, working to get to the big leagues, man.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's
And
go.
give me before we get into these picks here, if you had to pick your favorite moment from maybe that 2023 year, or just your college baseball experience in general, what would it be?
Ooh. Which, ironically, I was gonna say, well, yeah, because I was listening the whole time, but I was gonna say, we had started off kind of the way the same year, we had put up, I think we smoked Vandy, smoked Arkansas first two nights, put up an egg against Missouri. And then the midweek, I want to say we played UTA, and I want to say I don't think we lost, but it was a pretty it was a fight of a game,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we, got swept out of the building against Florida State that weekend. They had Cam Smith, Ferreira, the crazy pitching staff. They were nasty.
Yeah.
But nah, man. I mean, honestly, like I wouldn't say, my favorite part was probably the whole time that we were playing outside of school. And not,
Yeah.
specifically just for the fact that, we're playing outside of school, we're getting paid more money than we've ever seen. But no, on top of that, like just being able to, go play a ball game. We were fortunate enough to not lose from about, I want to say, the end of the season. Once the Big 12 tournament started, up until our first game of Omaha, we didn't lose a game.
Yeah.
So we went for May, went 17-0 for a whole month. And like, being able to do that with the fellas, guys that you grinded the whole fall with, went through the highs and lows of a whole season. And you're just putting belt to ass for, an entire month. Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty fun, especially
Yeah.
for a kid like me. I mean, I had never made it past two games in the tournament.
Yeah.
So
Right.
to be able to actually experience that with, some of my closest friends.
Yeah, there's not a much better feeling than being on those bus rides and just looking around knowing you're about to kick someone's ass
Right.
that day, not knowing or not really caring who's on the other end of that dugout.
100%. That was our motto. You got to play the frogs for 9. Play the
Yeah.
frogs for 9. If you can't get us past 9, if we go deeper than 9, then you got to play us for however long the game goes.
Dang,
Hell
that's
yeah.
good. You talk about the piggyback off what you just said. You talk about the highs. You talk about the lows. That's the world of baseball. What kept your mind at ease, and what'd you do for yourself to be successful through that whole 65 game season that you guys played, 70 game season?
It was a little combination of a lot of things, honestly.
Do you have any like superstitions that you kept rolling through that stretch, or what?
Not really superstitious. I'm more faith devoted. Real big into my faith. We'll say the one thing I did probably every game was I would take a dry scoop of, not a dry scoop. I would still rinse it down with some water. Take a dry scoop of C4.
Nice.
Just take the dry scoop of C4. One time we were missing it. So my buddy had probably, can't say this out loud, college no more, but one time my buddy had a thing of bucked up. So we get a
Yeah.
whole little crate of bucked up. Never had that before. Took like, half of it or something and was like, and I don't even remember what I did that game. My ears were ringing the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
hilarious the
Yeah.
amount of like, and it still happens, but all of that stuff. Like if you were to take a dry scoop and then go immediately take an NCAA drug test, like you're passing or you're failing for like
Yeah,
caffeine or
100%.
whatever. But like
Yeah,
I
overload.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious how
Yeah, it
much of that
was
stuff still
it
goes
was
on
it was
and went
tough.
on during that period.
Getting the itchy face going out to the
yeah.
game and
Yeah,
stuff.
The
itching your
itchy.
face off. All right, well, let's get into these matchups. What do you say? First game we got is the East Carolina Pirates against North Carolina Tar Heels. This game will be played in Durham. We just touched on it. Jason DeCaro threw a complete game shutout, 10-0 run rule victory over the Pirates last night. Today's pitching matchup, ECU will be throwing Gavin Van Kempen. Last week against Xavier, he went 4 innings, 2 runs, neither of them earned on 1 hit, 4 strikeouts, which tells me there was maybe some defensive miscues there. Gavin threw a good game himself. And then the Tar Heels are throwing Folger Boaz. Last week against Indiana, he went 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run on 2 hits, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Yeah, boys, what are we thinking? Who are our picks for today?
Last night, I mean, I don't even. It was a kind of a fall off the train, fall off the tracks kind of deal for ECU. But I don't know. I like the Tar Heels. I don't think I'll ever jump off their bandwagon. So I think I'm gonna ride with the Tar Heels from North Carolina.
Yeah, I
Trey?
didn't I mean I want to say I didn't watch the game, but I just looked at the scoreboard like as I was just skimming through ESPN and it's like, I want to find a good game and found that it was like 10-0 like the 4th inning. Oh goodness. And they're in ECU. They
Yeah,
were in
Yeah.
ECU last night. So yeah, I gotta go with UNC. I gotta go with the Tar.
yes, sir.
Yeah, I personally would love to see ECU bounce back and make this thing competitive, make this in-state rivalry series close. After I know they were facing DeCaro, but after watching their offense last night, and then Folger Boaz is no joke himself for the Tar Heels. I'm gonna have to roll with the Tar Heels here. There's just nothing here that's making me want to go with ECU today. So
Hard to change when you see a team get shellacked on Friday night. You know
yeah,
how
with
hard
their
it is to
with
win
their
on a
dude at
Friday night.
home, like
Yeah.
it felt like I
Yeah.
said on a podcast Thursday, it felt like as much of a must win as you might need on like week 2 of the season, but it felt
100%.
like that was a spot for ECU.
The game
and,
matters.
big
The
letdown
game
for them
matters.
last night. Yeah. All right. Well, let's go into our next matchup. This one is being played at Globe Life Field in Texas. We have the Florida State Seminoles against the Auburn Tigers. Florida State coming off a 6-1 win over Michigan yesterday. They will be throwing Bryson Moore. Last week against JMU. Only went 1.2 innings pitched with 3 earned runs on 4 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. So struggled a little bit. Not exactly his ideal opening day or opening weekend start. And then the Auburn Tigers bouncing back a little bit, coming off a big 5-1 win over a K-State team who kind of came out of the gate hot. They will be throwing Jackson Sanders, who last week against Youngstown State, 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 2 hits, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. Boys, this is going to be a great matchup, in my opinion. I feel like the Auburn lineup has had very high expectations, both lineups really, and you haven't seen that Auburn lineup explode yet. I know there's concerns about the pitching a little bit. I don't know. I think this is going to be a really solid game. Boys, who are you guys going with?
I don't know why, but I love Miles Bailey from Florida State. That big hunk of freaking, that dude bangs, and he bangs a ball around the yard. And I don't know. I can't go wrong with Florida State. They looked good yesterday against Michigan, and Auburn's coming off a rough one against the Cats. So I think I'm going Florida State.
I would say, shoot, it's tight. I gotta go Auburn here. Just, I like I mean, the K State team, K State's a really good baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Mhm.
what they're doing. I like what they're doing over there. I like the pieces that they have. But to play them on a Friday night and then come out, you got a dude who he said he went 6 1/3 last week
Yeah.
against probably not the best competition, but I mean 6 1/3. That's a confidence.
Right. Yeah. A lot of
Gotta
punch
go.
outs.
Yeah, and two. I know you said it's in Globe Life too, correct?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I know, we played there a pretty good amount whenever I was in school, and that field, it's a big yard, but it
It's
flies there a
huge.
little bit. It flies there a little bit, and
It
so
does.
if you're banging a little, and Auburn's got some expectations, this the game to kind of pick up the lineup a little bit. I gotta go.
Mhm.
I'm going with Auburn.
Yeah. I love that pick. I'm gonna have to. I love Link Norvell.
Yeah,
Link Jarrett, not Link
yeah.
Norvell. He's not. Florida
Mix the
State
names
fans are
there.
not
There
too
you go.
fond of him.
Yeah.
Link Jarrett, I love him. I think he really hit the not the panic button, but the alert button over the offseason and really filled in the needs that this bullpen struggled with last year. I and also, I didn't clarify this at the beginning. If we use any betting terms here, Trey is obviously not able to place any wagers on these games. He is strictly just picking his winners. So just to throw that out there, I'm going to go with the Seminoles here. If I was a betting man, I would probably go with the Auburn at the plus 160 price
And
here.
that's why kind of my instinct kicked in.
Yeah.
My
But
instinct kicked in.
I'm gonna go with I'm going with the Seminoles here. I think that starter is going to respond after his start last week, and yeah, this is probably their biggest game, probably biggest game to date for both teams.
Mhm.
And I got the Seminoles in Omaha this year, so I'm riding with my Seminoles today.
Let's go.
Our next game, this one is part of the Round Rock Classic, big matchup. This is one's going to be awesome. We got Southern Miss taking on Oregon State. Last night, Southern Miss had a very tight 5-4 win over Purdue, and Oregon State had a tight win themselves, 3-1 over Baylor. Last night for Oregon State, Dax Whitney, their dude on Friday, absolutely shoved, set a program record with 17 strikeouts, which in week 2 is nutty in my
Just the
opinion.
amount of pitchers that have gone through that school, man.
Yeah.
You set a record like that. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Oregon
It's
crazy.
ridiculous.
But Southern Miss will be throwing Graydon Harris. Last week against UC Santa Barbara, he went 3 innings, 4 earned runs on 5 hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. And then Oregon State will be throwing Ethan Kleinschmidt, who last week against Arizona went 5 innings, 1 earned run, 3 hits, 2 walks, and 9 punch outs. Boys, what are we thinking for this one?
I mean, that's tight right there. I think I'm going with the Golden Eagles from Southern Miss. I like the way they play ball. One of my best buddies is a first baseman at Southern Miss, so I can't shy away. I like, Oregon State is so sneaky. Like Trey said, there's so many dudes that run through that program who gone on to the league. I mean, every position you can go: catcher, pitcher, infield, outfield. I mean, it's nuts. But I don't know. I can't shy away from the Golden Eagles. I got to take them.
Man, I kind of like to bounce off of what he said there. Like, they're just so tucked away on the top of the map and just have
Yes.
just dudes that roll through every single year.
Yeah.
Like, I pay attention to college baseball, not as much as I did when I was playing, but I pay attention a pretty good amount. And like, it seems like every single year they've always got some, top end, top
Mhm.
round draft pick coming, like, running through that. I'm like, how'd you end up here? But I mean, they've got a reputable record, so they've got a good staff and stuff. But this one's tight. I kind of like what he said too. I'm a big fan of gritty, like, just dirtbag ball players. And
Yeah.
Southern Miss, I feel like they bring that every single time. Like, watching a regional game at Southern Miss was the reason why I wanted to transfer when I did. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
watching that type of atmosphere, wanting to play in that. And you said they got a UC Santa Barbara guy, a transfer starting for them, correct?
Or no. That was his start against
Oh,
UC
that was
Santa
the start
Barbara
against UC
last
Santa
week.
Barbara.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. I mean, even then, UC
Which
Santa
they're
Barbara's
coming off
got
a big
they're
series win against
yeah.
Santa
I was about
Barbara.
to say they've got a good squad over there. Man, I like that gritty ball play. I like that gritty. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go with Southern Miss here. I'm gonna go with Southern Miss.
All
It's
right.
tight though.
Yeah, this one's a coin flip. I'm going to go against you guys here. I'm going with the Beavers. This offense has struggled a little bit early on. I really like the lefty they're throwing, Ethan Kleinschmidt, and
Yeah, he's gross.
I'm hoping for maybe the Beavers to get that offense going a little bit today. So I'm going with the Beavs.
Ethan Kleinschmidt.
All right. Our next matchup. This is one that is our mid-major series
Couldn't
of
wait
the
for
week.
this one.
Great 3-game set going on last night. And also interesting, we predicted that this was going to be an offensive series in general, not to mention that both Friday starters, I believe, are down. So they both shifted back into their pitching staffs a little bit. So a lot of offense going on. Last night, UTSA got the win 12-8 over DBU. Boys, I don't even know who's pitching in this matchup. I don't know if it really matters, to be honest. So who are we going with?
I have the other reason I'm going to say Dallas Baptist. I have them in my Omaha 8, and I can't shy away because I like the way they play, but I don't know. I think the 12-8 loss, like the game doesn't replicate the scoreboard just because how I don't know. I think I'm sticking with the Dallas Baptist.
DBU? Hell yeah.
I'm sticking with DBU.
So this is the one game I saw. Oh, my bad. Were you done?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So this is the one game that I saw like a pretty good amount last night because I, just skimming through and I'm like, oh, DBU, UTSA are playing. That's a big one. I'm gonna go UTSA just for this fact. They're playing at home, another scrappy dirt ball type of team, and I love the way Hallmark runs his programs. Not to say that the DBU head coaches, he's a really good head coach too, and he has a great staff. But I'm gonna take UTSA just because they're at home right now. You said their Friday starters are gone, so that means Sunday is gonna be Armageddon. I mean, it's all hands on deck. I mean, we might see 40 combined runs between these two teams. Like even last night, I'm watching this game. I see the UTSA guy hit a dagger home run. They go up to 12, and then DBU's just racking off barrels right after that. Like it's not over. And I liked what I saw out of UTSA's bullpen out of the last. I think he went like 4 2/3 to finish the game, and he was on. So I'm gonna go UTSA here.
All right. This one reminds me exactly of UC Santa Barbara and Southern Miss last week. My only strategy going into this is that this series is way too good to not go to a game 3 and go to a Sunday. So I'm going with DBU to bounce back. I think they even it up today. And like you said, we get game 3 tomorrow as a total Armageddon to win the series. So I'm going with DBU to bounce back today.
Hands on deck.
All right. And our game of the week, the game that Trey has been waiting for. We got the TCU Horned Frogs rolling into UCLA. Last night, UCLA, big win, 10-2. Obviously, TCU had the news of Tommy Lepore being out with arm soreness, so they had to kind of bump back into that pitching staff a little bit. TCU will be throwing the Sunday starter from last week, Lance Davis. Last week against Oklahoma, he went 3 innings pitched, 4 earned runs with 5 hits, 2 walks, and a strikeout. And UCLA will be sticking with their original Saturday starter, Michael Barnett. Last week against UC San Diego, he went 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 2 hits, 2 walks, 4 punch outs. Boys, who do we got?
I actually caught this whole game last night too in the basement. The 3 TV setup. I had to turn that game on the whole time, and like I don't want the scoreboard to like say how TCU plays baseball because that's far from what they can do. And I think they let the game get away from them a little bit, but I don't know. I've always liked the way TCU plays. I mean, they're hard-nosed, gritty baseball club. They're always finding dudes from freaking all over the country to help contribute to their program, and the staff does a great job. Their head coach does a phenomenal job, but I don't know, something about these Bruins seem like they're the real number 1 team in the country, and I don't think they're gonna tell anybody wrong. So I think I'm sticking with the Bruins, Trey.
There you go. That's all right. I'm obviously I'm gonna ride with my guys. I'm gonna go with TCU here. But I liked what I saw last weekend, especially out of two really tough wins. I think
Came
both
off
were 5 to
hot.
4. Yeah, and I like the guys they had. I've talked to guys around the program, guys that I played with and stuff. Just to see the fact that they have they've got the right crop of upperclassmen this year. They've got a few young guys that really remind me of our team, 23. Gonna be a tough game. It's definitely gonna be a tough game. You're at UCLA. You're playing them at their ballpark. And UCLA's lineup. I mean, the only person I recognize in that lineup is the dude who's supposed to go 1 overall. I mean, that guy's a freaking monster.
You went poolside and backside
Yeah,
last night.
yeah.
I
Like
was saying,
at UCLA.
not to cut you off here, but let's show that real quick. He obviously had the pull side grand slam, but to me, this is one of the more impressive clips and swings that you see in all of college baseball right now. Here's Rock Chalosky's backside home run last night.
There was no place you could throw him.
Senior or junior?
Well, both. I mean, senior was the same way.
That ball is crushed. Right center field. Chalowski has homered again.
I mean, Trey, I know you're in pro ball and neither of us got a sniff at it, but that looks like big league stuff to
backside
me.
on top of a building right there. He pulled a ball to the backside. Like that's ridiculous, And I mean, that's gonna be tough to go against, especially when you've got guys bumping up in the rotation. We already talked about UTSA, DBU, how they had to move their guys. I mean, it stinks this early in the year to get a guy to go down, but if he's going to go down in return, you'd rather him go down at this point. And I like the starter that I saw last week. I mean, he had a rough outing last time, but only 3 earned runs last week. And I mean, the one thing I just saw with him was he was just a little bit all over the place, and you play an OU team who they don't leave runners on base. Basically, they're trying to get runners on the score, just move the train. UCLA's offense, like I said, I haven't watched them too much, but I mean, if they're anything like OU, it's going to be a little tough one if you're not working around the strike zone. But I think if he can get back in there, I like his pitch profile. He's got like a little 2-seam sinker action that he works. So contact ground ball pitcher. And I like if TCU if he can limit the walks, limit the damage, and the offense can do what they did last week, and I think it'll be a pretty good game.
Yeah, I mean, I got both these teams in my Omaha 8, so it's hard to pick against one. So I like both these teams. Like you said, in 23, you guys started off like this. Like it's TCU. I mean, no one's going to scratch them off. No one's going to scratch them off the board this early.
The name itself, I mean, it sucks. But like the name and the school of itself, the reputation they've got, they're going to stay in the bubble for as long as I mean, we stayed in the bubble till the end of April.
Oh yeah.
End up making a run ourselves. So they're gonna stay in. If they stay afloat, stay above 500, pretty competitive Big 12 this season, I think they'll be pretty legit. I mean, but like I said, it's nice to be battle tested early. Nice to see what you got.
Yeah, shit, they're on the West Coast playing the number 1 team in the country.
Exactly. And that's not easy by any means. And especially a team that you could possibly either go to their regional later on or even face them in Omaha. To see them this early it's pretty exciting. It'll show the team what they're made of pretty early.
Yeah, and I, to be honest, I really like what this TCU team is made of. I love what they've shown as far as having multiple guys to bring in out of the bullpen and on the mound, and their lineup, man. I mean, these guys just pass the torch. They have guys that can kind of go gap to gap with some power and run a little bit. Like they have a lot of guys that can do multiple things offensively. I love this TCU team. I think they get the Sunday win, but today I have to side with this pitching mismatch a little bit and the bump back. I'm going with the Bruins today. I have to, but I think TCU responds in a big way and takes this Sunday game and salvages this series when they kind of walking in there, maybe not as healthy and full pressure as they may have wanted to. I think they find a way to bounce back, respond, and win the Sunday. But give me the Bruins today. All right, well, that wraps up our picks for the week. Let's see if we got any questions in here. And if you're still in here and have any questions for Trey, go ahead and fire them off. We got one here from Noah Beanick. Who is the nastiest arm Trey has faced? Has he matched up with Herpy or Sherpy in Cards Camp before?
The nastiest arm this is always a tough question because I'm a big believer that I get myself where guys get me out.
Yeah.
That might just be my comp. Say the nastiest arm I've faced before. I would say probably I faced Nolan McLean a few times, a lot of times, a lot more than I would like to say. Every single time. I mean, his worst, he was probably 94 to 96. It was just a little flatter. But Nolan McLean's probably the guy that I've faced. And then to answer the second question, I have not faced Jerpy. Haven't faced him in live at bats or anything like that. But I did play with him my first season when I played with Alex. My first year when I got up to Peoria, I played with him. Like his first outing came out was 5 innings, 12 Ks, 2 walks, just regular Oregon State pitching. Like, I mean, you talk about Oregon State. Didn't even know he went to Oregon State till I got to meet him. And like, my gosh, bro, like, where do y'all come from? So yeah, I gotta go. I'll go for the first one. I'll go Noah McLean, and then second one, no, I haven't faced him.
Damn. What do you? How'd you like playing with Josh?
Oh, bro, he's a character. He's a character for sure. We always give him. I actually just went up to the locker room yesterday because we don't start till Monday. Start physicals till Monday. So I've been here in town beach for about a week.
Yeah, Josh
went to the locker room the other day and saw him, dude. He is the goofiest, hairiest, funniest, dude I've ever met. But I mean, he was my locker mate last year when he got caught up, and yeah, we had a good time. I love that.
Nice. Man. Yeah, talk about a true underdog story right there. I mean, shit, he got cut. He got cut from Toledo his freshman year of baseball. Then goes to Eastern Michigan, goes off, and then plays 1 year at Cincy and hits like 700 with 25 bombs.
Right. And now, I mean, the only thing I recognize him for is the freaking 2 flaps. Where's the 2 flaps?
Like what? Like
there's only one guy that does that.
I've
never seen anybody else do that. He is the only one. And he can pull it off. He bangs from both sides, so it's like it's all right, But yeah,
what's gonna happen when
I love Cross.
Yeah, well, I don't know what he's gonna do when he makes it to the league with that one. I guess he's gonna have 2 helmets. So
he loves to be different. So he's gonna stick with it. He's gonna stick with it. And he's gonna make a story out of it.
He doesn't care what anybody says.
500%.
He'll just do what he does.
Right.
All right. Well, Trey, huge thank you for spending some time with us this morning. And obviously for the Frog fans, he is in Palm Beach getting ready to get ready to go for spring training in this season. So best of luck to you and in this 2026 season for yourself. Thank you for spending some time with us today. All of you guys, thank you for listening. Whether you're listening on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Music, go and hit that subscribe button. Help us out a little bit. Trey, thank you again for joining us. And it was a hell of a time to have you on here.
Yes, sir. Likewise. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it.
Anytime we want to, do this again or anything like that, got my number now. Just let me know, man. I love chopping up ball, man.
Absolutely. We love
Good
that.
luck.
We
Good
love
luck
that.
this season. Tear it up, baby.
Appreciate y'all, man.
All right. We appreciate you. Goodbye to everyone, and we will see you next Saturday.